All right. Did I press the button right? It says it's starting. Stream health. Receiving content. I don't know where it actually started. Let's make sure the microphone's pointed at me.
And we're live.
Are we live?
Yes.
You can hear me in the other room.
Yes.
Okay. Is this thing on? All right. Welcome to Vlog Thursday, episode 117. I have a new toy, and this toy is going to be used tomorrow. This is the first time doing it live. Maybe we'll even do the how they got hacked live. So watch this magic. Not that it's anyone who's a streamer doesn't know about it. You're like, yeah, Tom, welcome to the party. But boom, boom. I can switch things around. I can switch it. I can be like, hey, here's my screen on my laptop. And let's see. So let's go ahead and do this. So here's my laptop, and here's this, and then we can switch it to it's only my laptop. Oh yeah, we got full, screenception going here, and then we can jump back over to camera one right here. We've been working on and wanting to upgrade the studio, so that's part of what all this is setting it up so I can, post-production is a pain when it comes to video editing, so the goal is always to have less post-production time, and so that means I don't want to have to deal with a whole lot of, editing. So being able to switch it makes it easier. Also, being able to switch it makes it easier for doing live streams. So now I can take the live stream here and just jump between cameras. Like, all right, let's talk about something on here, and let's talk about something on here, and go right back and forth between them. So pretty cool. It's the Stream Deck. If you haven't heard of it, I already use OBS. That's how we do our recording. The Stream Deck is by Elgato, is a device that maybe I don't know if there's any value in me reviewing it. There's a million YouTubers out there that reviewed it. I'm certainly not going to become an expert on it. It does the thing I needed to do. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it because, like I said, it works great. But haven't really had other uses for it other than what I'm gonna do it for. We did joke around because you can do it for automation things. It has all kinds of other expandability. You can tweet it and everything else. Actually, is the audio out of sync? I guess that's a fair question. Is it off as in out of sync? Is that the question you're asking? I don't know. It's the first time I've streamed with all the different devices I have, so I don't know if there's any delay in there. Matter of fact, I do know because I can see the camera here. I'm doing this. I see a delay over to here, but it all should be out of delay.
Audio's good.
Audio's good?
Audio's
Okay.
great.
My staff checked for me, so it looks good, sounds good here. Cool. I guess it is all in sync. Sync looks good. What else should we talk about? So now that I can switch between it, this is the view I have of everyone chatting and everything else. This is how I see it. Actually, I see it without myself on there. So neat. This is so cool. I can just press buttons. I don't have a lot of time to do a ton of stuff right now, so I just wanted to jump on here. One, to see if this worked. Two, talk about a couple things going on. So the studio upgrades is also because I'm considering, and let me put a full screen on me. The studio upgrades are also because I'm thinking about doing the How They Hacked Live because we want to do some audience interaction with things. The other thing is the How They Got Hacked series, which is a lot of fun. We want to do share what's on my screen. So part of the goal tomorrow is going to be as we talk about the stories that we're reading off our screens, you will be able to hit a button and you'll be able to see what is on said screen. So that's part of the goal and one of the reasons we're upgrading some of the equipment here. Is I'm trying to bring it in a little bit. We actually might even remodel and rearrange the studio a little bit. We move equipment a lot. And it's because we have meetings in here and things. That's why I've been debating, do I build another studio in another part of the building? How do I want to enhance it? That's been a lot of the thoughts rattling around in my head. In other news that I didn't really get to cover, we do have, and let me get it pulled up here and I'll switch to the screen. We did upgrade to the new UniFi. And so far, it's one of those things that there's not much significant to talk about with it. So let me log into all the things that I have to log into. Whoops. I wasn't prepared for logins. Yeah, my passwords are that long, in case you heard all the clicking with the keyboard noises. But we did do... Oh, cool. Let me close that. And we're going to pull this up because we did upgrade to the new UniFi. I didn't do a video on it. I don't even know if it's worthy of a video. It's just not different. But I wanted to talk about, because I just got off the phone with someone. Oh, this is not the right map. Let me find the right map. Maybe this one? Look at that. All right, now I can switch to it. There we go. One more out. One more out. There we go. Hey, let's show you so you can see what I see here, which is a lot of red. I'm going to do, and tell me what your interest is in this, but probably a lot, some of the Wi-Fi planning videos. I just did a consulting for how we propose Wi-Fi to clients and how we put some of these things together. And you can see all the density on there. And that's one of those things, like when you propose a Wi-Fi, especially this is, outdoor marina Wi-Fi, one of the things that is really important is just the fact that, do you have enough density for all of it? Is there enough Wi-Fi coverage on there, and how are you doing it? And what someone had done, and this goes back to the marketing speak when it comes to things. Yeah, these have a 600-foot range, and they can mesh. And I did a video in depth on the UniFi mesh where I show us meshing between cars. But the more specific, the non-marketing speak is, no, they don't really mesh. They do mesh, but you got to have them within so many feet, and each mesh shares some of the bandwidth, so it doesn't quite, work the way people think it works in reality. So you kind of have to plan for more density. So that's one of those things that I wanted to cover, was that density change. And so when we do the planning, we think about it in bigger terms. We also break it down to the client that way, because you want to future-proof it. I mean, if the client's going to spend X dollars for the project, you don't want to have to readdress that project next year going, oh yeah, you put in the slowest, cheapest, minimal amount, and now there's a device density that does it. So I'm going to put some videos on specifically just how we look at planning, how we present it to the clients, and there's prerequisites that you have to throw in there that are important. For example, this case, it was a marina. The things we did for that marina was, there's a prerequisite in that bid that says there has to be electricity at each location. That's not an option. That has to be. We need a pole that can survive high winds. We need a pole mounted. We're not mounting the poles. We want each one put in, and we will be attaching our devices to the pole, et cetera, et cetera. These little planning things are really important when you're doing these. These are, just some of those prerequisites, because people get confused going, I don't know how I'm going to do this and how I'm going to do that. I'm like, you're not. That's unless your skill set is an electrician, or unless your skill set is having a good hammer drill and you can drill down and core into everything to make this work, then that's not your skill set and it's not going to happen. So those are aspects of it I like to make sure people are clear on. You turn these into construction projects. You say, and the way you do that is you're going to tell them, hey, your preferred electrician, your preferred vendor for the things you do, construction work and projects, and then you can do your Wi-Fi planning part, and you're only thinking about it from that perspective. So I'm going to do a couple of videos on that, kind of walk it through. I think people get nervous when they bid some of these things. They're not sure how to approach it, or they assume that they need to do the job top to bottom, and at some point, in case of marinas or just general any place, when you come into a building and look at things, you go in there and you don't have to do everything. You have to tell them some prerequisites for the job. Related to that Wi-Fi planning, and I got to send the person an email back because it just dawned on me I'm a little bit behind on a couple of replies, but it's also a no-sale email. And I'm going to explain what a no-sale email is. We were brought in because of the problems they were having with the devices. The salesperson, a friend of mine that wanted me to do the job, really was excited about it, but in the end, I can't do the job, and let me explain why. When we did some investigation into the job, here's the challenge. We have a warehouse. We have people on high-lows. People on high-lows drive around, and they have little Wi-Fi devices that allow them to traverse the warehouse and check things in, check stock in. This is the problem they're having. A handful of them keep losing connection in one of the warehouses. Immediately, you think, they need more Wi-Fi in the warehouse. So that's the first assessment. Turns out when we get there, all the spots they're dropping Wi-Fi do work. Drove out there, I can't sell them Wi-Fi and cover the spots. Before you blame the fact, is it UniFi or is it a problem? No, what I did was looked at the endpoints, looked at the devices, and it turns out these Honeywell boxes that they have on the high-lows were built before 802.11.r roaming the handoffs don't work well on them. So my suggestion actually isn't replacing the Wi-Fi devices. You get those people opinion like, oh, no, the Wi-Fi devices are junk or they don't work well. Whatever the opinion people have is about that. That wasn't the case at all. So it's one of those things where you don't sell the client on it. They already had other proposals to put new Wi-Fi in from other companies, which I'm like, why would they put new Wi-Fi in? Your problem has nothing to do with that. It's the fact that you have a device that doesn't support it, and those are the type of things to me that are important. Like, I'd rather have a client where I don't take their money and I tell them, because they wouldn't solve their problem anyways. So, it's all that little stuff that is important to make sure that works. Someone said there's a product called Stay Linked. The other way, I've never heard of Stay Linked. I'll look it up real quick because I'm curious. What is Stay Linked? Maybe we'll look it up together. I have buttons for this now. Terminal emulation, advanced session management. Yeah, mobile workers on the job. Yeah, but this isn't the solution for that. These are high-lows that drive around that need to have connections, and there is it's not a solution the client likes, actually. The problem is these high-lows, those devices are kind of pricey. The new model supports 802.11r. They have to buy new models. The new model works fine. Matter of fact, we are going to suggest to them a test. They have in another one of their warehouses a couple of the new models that when it's also a warehouse, they have no problems. It's a whole newer version. We're like, hey, why don't you get a couple of those and reprogram to work at the other location and see if the problem goes away. And I have a feeling it's because they're first year. I mean, you got to remember, these devices are from, they're before 802.11r, which was like 2014. So these are like 10-year-old, 11-year-old Wi-Fi devices that only support 2.4. So it's not just the protocol, and they're working. Some of them are working off PCMCA cards. If you remember those, like that's how old some of these cards are. And they just didn't realize they don't do Wi-Fi handoff very well, so they don't roam very well. They just get stuck to the old connections. So that's definitely an issue. Can you sync Dropbox directly to a FreeNAS box? No, not natively. To my knowledge, maybe I'm wrong. There's not a client that works on FreeBSD. I could be wrong. We can look, but I don't think there's any way to get that to work. So Dropbox, FreeBSD client. No, Google didn't land me on a page for it. Fresh Ports Dropbox uploader. Maybe. It looks like there's a GitHub project for it. So there's hope for this. So someone wrote a project for it. It hasn't been updated in a few years. This is one of those things, once you go out of it, yeah. So Dropbox works with the API key, but what do you attach it to in FreeNAS? I don't think it's natively supported in FreeNAS that I know of. Maybe I didn't look for a Dropbox connector. Maybe it's there and no one told me. No one's ever asked me to connect Dropbox to it, so I've never tested. I'm not going to I'll log into FreeNAS later. Maybe it's an interesting question, but I don't know. Because I know does Dropbox support a bucket-like storage? And I asked that because Dropbox is essentially file sharing storage, but you can support S3 buckets, buckets for Backblaze, and a lot of other places with FreeNAS. So yeah. Check the link sent. That's how you do that. Yeah, I don't know a best way. And matter of fact, that sometimes is a challenge you have with a few of those with FreeNAS. And I have a list, and I just haven't gotten to it yet, of Synology videos because we've been playing a lot with the Synology backups and deploying them and everything else. So, yeah, I don't have to reach. Yeah, I have it a little far over. I have kind of I'll widen this out. There's kind of a tangle of wires and things around me, so that's part of there. So it's not very far away, but yeah, I slid a little closer. Give you the wider view. This is a pretty wide angle lens right here. So hopefully, now the microphone's in it, so now you can see. Now you can see how the setup. You can see my laptop. Let's see, FreeNAS and ZeroTier. I didn't play with it, but there is a BSD port of ZeroTier. I haven't used it. I haven't tried it. It doesn't look like it's as up to date. So if it works, you should be able to do that. I just haven't really had it. I haven't had any time to test that. It should work because they do have a free BSD port, but it's kind of one of those things. Like I don't feel it feels like the BSD port isn't as well. Maybe I'm wrong. It didn't look like it's as well supported because it's like there's a package for it, but then you have to add those packages, and they're not gonna. I don't know if they'll survive updates on FreeNAS. My guess would be no. So you'd probably have to download it each time you do an update on FreeNAS. I don't know that for sure. Make a video later for bridging. I will tell you with zero-tier bridging. Let me pull that up. Zero-tier. They have the walkthrough right in here how to do it. You have to do it in Linux. I seen a comment in some forum where they said they had it working inside of Windows. I have no idea. But you have to build it as a bridge inside of a Linux box. So Linux box, 2 network interfaces. You could do it with 1 network interface. It'd just be a little bit trickier. But generally, you want to do it with those, and you could bridge it like this to be able to bring it in there. They have the guide right here. Matter of fact, oddly, they have a guide on bridging with OpenWRT. I thought that was kind of cool too. So if you're using one of those, I hope, and I know someone put a GitHub together for it, but it's not officially supported in the repositories. But there is a pfSense package someone wrote. So if you type in pfSense ZeroTier, there's an unofficial GitHub for it. Where'd it go? Oop. I'll throw this in there. I haven't tested it, but I'm always worried when it's, third party, but it's, it's cool they have it. Like I said, it comes back on there, so there you go. So there's the zero-tier for pfSense. Someone wrote a package for it. I thought about reaching out and messaging them, see if they want to do an updated version of it. Cool that they offer it. I don't know. I don't know how well it works. I don't know how well it integrates into pfSense. Hopefully it does. It would be cool because instead of having to build a separate bridge where it's outside your network, it would be nice to bridge it in pfSense. But most of the zero-tier solutions, we've had now a couple people use them, and the solutions that they provided for them, they just loaded on each device that needed to talk, and they're fine. And people are like, well, it doesn't VPN for printers at that point. I'm like, yeah, but they don't really need printers for remote sites. I mean, I guess you could, but do you really need a printer? Is that what you need is for print? I don't know. It seems like it doesn't seem like a solution for printer. It's mostly a solution. There was someone who set it up to manage a lot of times it's like servers. They need all these servers to share data, or they need a couple remote workers. They just tie it into the server, and away you go. You have your own zero-tier network that works on there. Matter of fact, I do want to test on Synology because that's kind of cool too, is if you have your remote workers out there. I get the use case of putting it on FreeNAS for the same reason. I want to access my files when I'm not here. But because for a routed protocol, I still feel that a direct VPN is better when you need routed VPN services over zero-tier. Like if I need a bunch and I need to just bridge an entire network, I kind of feel that VPN works better for that because it's not trying to, you do UDP hole punches. But I don't know. I got to do some comparisons between them. That's something I'm interested in doing like a real comparative version so I can understand it better. That's on my to-do list. So let's see, what else do we want to cover today? I love this Inception thing I got going where you guys can see everything over here. So you can see how the YouTube and see how I see all the comments. I do have to get running, and today is an event day for me. So I'm bringing the camera back in. I know it's cool because it's also cool because it does this. It does the cool focus thing. I like this lens. I should put on the really ultra wide lens that I have. That one's really cool too. But I have an event today, and I spoke at a panel yesterday. Matter of fact, this is what I was gonna do here. There we go. That's me. I I spoke at an event yesterday about entrepreneurship, and it kind of reminded me that I need to do a few more business videos. I'm going to do a couple entrepreneur videos specifically on this channel talking about things. I do a lot of these speaking events, and one of the questions that was really good is I was speaking at a college, and it's an entrepreneurial training program they do. And one of the things I thought was really good was a question they asked, well, does the real world still work, or can I do it all online type thing? Can I just get all my clients online, or is social media the only way to do it? I'm like, no. I have lead generation from clients online, YouTube and other social media platforms, but I am still on my way. As soon as I'm done with this vlog, my wife's in the other room picking me up here at work, and we're going to an event to go be social with people and meet people IRL. This is still real world, in real life is still how you shake a lot of hands and meet a lot of people, and that's still an absolute big part of business and landing some of these deals and contracts and everything else. It's still a hands-on experience. So. What's your thoughts on your public preview of Azure 10 Virtual Desktop? I'm excited to see however it comes with VMware Horizon 60 Space Virtual Infrastructure. I have no interest. Virtual Desktop is a Band-Aid. I'm not interested in it. It's a Band-Aid until everything moves into the cloud. It's kind of like cool, kind of. Not really. It's not. I mean, there's clients that use it and they have use cases for it. But every time I see a virtual desktop install, it has to be very specific because it's gotten better having local printers and everything. But to me, it's a Band-Aid on it. Everything's going web. Everything's going to be, web-enabled applications are becoming really popular. But other companies have also realized if they have an absolute reliance on web-enabled applications, they have to have redundant internet. They have to have a really solid connection to those applications. So. No one I know uses Open Media Vault, so I have no interest in Open Media Vault. There's nothing about Open Media Vault that compels me about it. It doesn't offer something that is superior. If it does, I'm not aware of it. There's nothing about it that makes me go, I need that over pfSense. I don't think it's a bad project, but if it doesn't compel me, I got to have a reason to learn it. I have to have a reason to play with it. What are its features? Debian, web-based administration, volume management, wake on LAN, email notifications, file sharing. Nothing on this list makes me go, I need this. More features. It actually has less features than it. I don't see ZFS in here. I see XFS, so I don't like it at all. So why would tell me the use case? Here, tell me the use case. Why would I run a lesser version of that doesn't have all the features FreeNAS has? I'm trying to figure out the use case. So that's my thoughts on Open Media Vault. It's a inferior project to pfSense. It doesn't have the same features, so why would I use it? What camera do I use? This is being filmed. I have a whole gear video I just did. Look at it on my channel. But this is a Canon C100 you're watching this on right now. The camera, my A-roll camera is a C100. The camera that you can't see, it's above here that does the top-down shots, is a Canon 70D. Let's see what else. What's the end game? A Chrome OS platform, single-sided web-based services? Do you think MS will go down that route of an ultralight OS that acts like Chrome OS? They are. Windows 10S, they have the HP Stream and things like that. Those are basically the same thing. And Microsoft, they're supporting Windows until people quit buying it. But when they said Windows 10 is the last version, they kind of mean it because they're not developing really that many new features. They constantly are looking for more store features, cloud-enabled features. They're doubling down and betting on someone has to host the apps. We're a tooling company that writes the software engineering tools, and they're a Azure company. They're a platform company. They want you to use their platform. They realize desktop, look at all the trouble in management when you add up, come in as an alien from an outside world and look at the way we do infrastructure here, and you're going, that's stupid. And an advanced civilization go, we wouldn't do it this way. We would solve it better, and we would not put something that randomly breaks across all the platforms and pushes major version updates that lock up your antivirus and everything. You look at my company runs mostly on cloud-enabled apps. Even though we self-host them, my invoicing, all web-enabled, so we can access it anywhere. My look at the UniFi platform. Look at all the tooling we use. We're not using a bunch of installed local applications. I don't think desktops are going away, but they're going to become more specialized. We're going to see it. We're still going to see gaming desktops. We're still going to see CAD workstations and things like that. We're not going to, but why? Look at what an Office admin uses. I can use everything in the cloud. I can do all my, my document management and things like that can all be done with cloud-enabled apps. So why have a heavyweight desktop sitting there? Surprised being a Debian guy that OMV doesn't compel you. I don't know. I like Debian, but I also don't have Debian firewalls. I prefer, BSD because the PF filter inside of that that's why it's called PF Sense. PF is the firewall in the BSD world. It's just amazing. Same with ZFS, works really well in the BSD world, and FreeNAS is a solid put together project. So just because it runs Debian doesn't mean I like it as a project, especially when it doesn't have the features. So it has more plugins. I didn't see ZFS support on here, so when I look at the features, if it supports ZFS, they apparently, where did they put that? Plugins, BitTorrent client, DApp server. I don't care about plugins as much because it's a file server to me. So, you ready to go, honey?
I've been ready.
Oh, cool. Is it raining?
Yes, I was ready 15 minutes ago when you said you had to go.
Okay.
I fed Kyle.
Oh, you fed Kyle? All right.
For
My wife is pointing at me. I guess it's time to go to the event.
That's not pointing, honey.
Well, I'm pointing. Making quesadillas. Debian. So, yeah, like I said, you've seen the same thing I've seen. So if Open Media Vault supports these things, they should probably list it on their site. But it says Extent 3, Extent 4, XFS, JFS file system. So if this is the Open Media Vault you're talking about, I Googled it. So anyways, I'm going to end Vlog Thursday here. Feel free to continue the conversation in the forums. I post here a lot. Please join us in these forums where I have only one messages I haven't responded to. I've been trying to encourage more and more people to do that, like engage me there, because I get too many people and I'm not always going to reply. People who just send email questions to sales and things like that going, I'm wondering which UniFi I should buy, the USG or USG Pro, and I will reply with only consulting rates when you do that. If you want to ask that question in forums, you're way more likely to get an answer rather than just a consulting rate. So hopefully, more network security, intrusion prevention. Yeah, we're working on those. I'm wondering if you have clients with bad power supply, NAS boxes like Synology where the capacitors fail. The early Synologies, as I understood, had those. To my knowledge, that's been like a solved problem from them. That's my understanding. Ceph Gluster over Synology. I don't know that Ceph and Gluster are supported on Synology. Could be wrong, but to my knowledge, they're not. But I'm not a true. I know more about FreeNAS than Synology, but I don't remember seeing that as an option. So hopefully it answers all the questions. Post those questions in a forum, or please, and I mention this all the time, and I refer people all the time to this, go over to the forums of the product. People ask me about weird RAID cards. Do they work with FreeNAS? There's an entire section called Will It FreeNAS? You can 99% of the time when people email me that question, whatever it is, I could copy it and just paste it into Google, and there's a top result of the FreeNAS forum for whether or not it works. I don't know why they take the time to send me an email on it. Like, unless you want to pay me to Google for you, just put it in Google or go to the FreeNAS forum. Some of these companies, if you have really esoteric questions about them. My forums are for open discussion about videos I've done, about things I've talked about, and I don't mind those questions being posted on a forum, but trust me, sometimes you can Google search these faster and in the forums of the product that you're talking about, XCP-NG, FreeNAS. I spend time in those forums. I find answers there all the time. So hopefully that was good. I'm going to go do the social event with some people, blah, 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 and all the things I do in real life. And I want to get this vlog out because I don't know how late I'll be, and I didn't feel like doing one late at night because I'm tired and drowsy, and I got a half hour today. But I'm going to talk to Xavier and see how he feels about it. Maybe we'll do a live stream of how they got hacked. No editing, and that could be scary. But it sounds fun too, so we'll work on that and figure that out. So thanks everyone for joining. Thanks all 100 of you, and thank all 58,000 of you, or 59,000 almost subscribed now. So awesome, and I'm out, and I get to press this little button on the Stream Deck here. and it stops it like this.